Our second lesson is about reflections. Reflections are a transformation you probably undergo daily whenever you look in a mirror. It's where the original figure, say for instance yourself, looks in the mirror and you see a flipped version of yourself where, if you grab your right ear, in the mirror image it looks like it's your left ear. Now, reflections are always done over a line of reflection, say for instance like the x-axis or the y-axis, or sometimes even other lines like for instance x equals 2. You're always going to be just simply counting how far away you are from that line of reflection. So on number 4 here, where it says we're going to reflect over the x-axis, we're just going to highlight the x-axis here, and we're just going to count how far away r is, or any of these points are, from the line of reflection. So in r's case, that's one way. So I'm going to go 1 the other direction, and that's where r prime will go. Then I will go ahead and do the other 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up here for Q prime. O prime is 1 away, and P prime is 3 away. And when I connect these points, it should look like a reflection of the original. And in this case, of course, it does. So our new points are, well, Q prime looks to be at 1, 4, and R prime looks to be at 3, 1. Well, when I look at the originals here, R starts at 3, 1, 3, negative 1, and it goes to 3, 1. Whereas Q starts at 1, negative 4, and it goes to 1, 4. So everything's staying the same except this negative number becomes positive. Well, the only way to turn a negative number positive is to make it negative again. So our rule is down here that x is going to stay the same like it did here, but our y is going to flip. Now this is interesting. When we reflect over the x-axis, we need to remember we're going to actually flip the y value. And when we go down here to, let's say, number 4, remember we're actually going to flip the x value here. But we'll first draw the reflection before we get into the rule. So on number 4, we're going to be reflecting over the y-axis. So there it is highlighted. Y is 2 away, so we're going to go 2 the other way. This works the exact same way as with the x-axis. Z is 4 away, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 the other way for Z prime. But x is 0 away. Well, that's incredibly enough. We're just going to keep it right there then, because it's going to be 0 away from the other direction. So when we connect these 3 points, just like it did on number 3, it's going to look like a reflection. It just so happens they're like right on top of each other. Okay, so we know x didn't change, so we don't need to show that. But Z started at 4, negative 2 for Z, and it went to, well, negative 4, negative 2. So like I mentioned earlier, the x is going to flip, but the y stays the same. So for our rule down here, the y is going to stay the same, but the x is going to become negative. And this is true for all reflections over the y-axis. Okay, so let's just quickly look at some rules here and see, okay, well, which reflection are we going over? Okay, so I'm reflecting over which axis here? On number 7. Let's actually do number 9. So I'm going from 7, 2 to negative 7, 2. So the 7 is flipping here. So if we're flipping x, that means we're actually reflecting over the y-axis. But our rule is straightforward, right? Our x is flipping and the y stays the same. So reflection rules are pretty easy. Do reflections change the shape and size of the image? No. Not unless it's a crazy mirror, and we're not using those in math. So that means that our image and our pre-image are congruent. So when we look at like a question like 11, which could show up on the RISE test, we're asking, are these congruent? Are they the same shape and the same size? And yes, they are, because they're reflecting over this axis right here. So we're going to reflect over the x-axis. So yes, because it will map to figure D if it's reflected over the x-axis. Okay, so on 12, we're just looking and seeing, okay, well, what would get me from ABC to QRP? Well, I need to go to the right, and I also need to reflect over the x-axis. It doesn't really matter the order, so I'm just going to choose those 2 options that mark that. And with that, that is lesson 2. Thanks for joining me.